The morning of our 5th wedding anniversary started beautifully. The kind of day that tricks you into believing life is perfect. The sunlight poured through our bedroom curtains, painting soft gold across the sheets. I turned to look at Daniel and smiled. 5 years, I thought. We made it. I had spent weeks planning the evening. A dinner reservation at the same restaurant where he proposed, his favorite red wine, and a luxury watch engraved with the words "Forever yours, Emily." I even ordered a chocolate cake shaped like a clock, to symbolize timeless love. But something felt off that morning. Daniel was unusually quiet. He checked his phone every few minutes, typing short, secretive replies. "Everything okay?" I asked lightly. He looked up startled. Yeah, just work. Big presentation tomorrow." I smiled. "Well, don't work too hard tonight, okay? I've got a surprise waiting for you." He hesitated. "Actually, I might be home late. There's a meeting with the new clients." "A meeting? On our anniversary?" My smile faded slightly, but I forced myself to nod. "All right. I'll wait up for you." He kissed my forehead quickly, no warmth, just habit, and left. As the door closed, I sat there staring at the breakfast table. The uneaten pancakes. The untouched coffee. And the sudden, heavy silence. Something wasn't right. 4 years I'd ignored the warning signs. The late-night messages, the perfume that wasn't mine, the sudden business trips. Every time I asked, Daniel always had an excuse, and I always believed him. Because that's what love does. It makes you blind to the truth staring right at you. But today my heart wouldn't stop whispering. He's lying. At noon I decided to surprise him at work. Maybe take him lunch like old times. I called his office to check if he was free. His secretary Lisa answered cheerfully, "Oh, Mrs. Harris. Mr. Harris left early today. He said he had personal plans." "Personal plans?" I froze. "Did he say where?" There was a short silence. "I'm not sure, ma'am. But he seemed very happy." Happy. The word stung. I hung up, my pulse racing. My instincts screamed, but a part of me still hoped it was a misunderstanding. I got dressed, grabbed my keys, and drove through the city, not even knowing where I was going, until something caught my eye. Daniel's car. It was parked outside the Rosewood Hotel. My breath caught in my throat. That place wasn't just any hotel, it was our place. The one we'd stayed at during our honeymoon. My fingers trembled as I parked across the street. Rain started to drizzle, blurring my view, but not enough to hide what came next. Daniel stepped out of the hotel lobby, smiling, laughing, holding someone's hand. And then I saw her. Clara. My best friend. My confidante. The woman I had once called my sister. They walked together like a couple who had nothing to hide. She leaned her head on his shoulder as they walked into the same restaurant I had booked for our anniversary dinner. The air left my lungs. My world collapsed in silence. I sat frozen, watching through the windshield as the two people I trusted most laughed together. In the very place that symbolized our love story. I didn't cry. Not then. I just stared until the rain hid my tears. And that's when I made a promise to myself. I wouldn't scream. I wouldn't beg. I would make him remember this anniversary for the rest of his life. I didn't sleep that night. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, hearing Daniel's soft breathing beside me. The same man who had laughed with her hours ago. Every inhale from him felt like a knife twisting deeper. But I didn't move. I didn't cry. I didn't confront him. Not yet. Because real revenge is never loud. It's quiet, patient, and beautifully timed. When morning came, I turned to him with a soft smile, masking the hurricane inside me. "Morning, love," I said sweetly. "Did you manage to finish your meeting last night?" He froze for half a second, then smiled. "Yeah. It went late, but it was productive." "Liar." I kissed his cheek and whispered, "I'm glad. You deserve a break this weekend. How about a little getaway? Just you and me." His eyes lit up. "Really? Really?" I said, smiling. "You've been working too hard." He kissed me then, guilt hidden beneath affection. I could taste her perfume faintly on his shirt collar, the same floral scent Clara always wore. I excused myself to the kitchen, where I finally let my hands shake. I leaned against the counter, whispering to myself, "You'll get what you deserve, Daniel. Both of you will." That day I started my act. I became the perfect wife. Gentle, patient, forgiving. I cooked his favorite meals, left love notes in his jacket pocket, and smiled as if my world hadn't already shattered. But behind the mask I began my preparation. First I went to my lawyer friend Julia. If I wanted to file for divorce, I said carefully, how long would it take to ensure he gets nothing? Julia frowned. Are you serious? Dead serious. But not yet. I just want information. She explained everything. The legal steps, the proof I'd need, the financial details. I recorded every word, every requirement. Evidence was power and I was collecting it quietly. Next, I installed a small voice recorder in Daniel's car, disguised inside a car freshener. Then one under the living room couch. I wasn't paranoid anymore. I was focused. By the end of the week, I had hours of recordings. Him whispering to Clara, making plans, laughing about how easy Emily is to fool. Each word burned like fire. On Friday, I sent Clara a message. Hey bestie. I've been missing you. Let's do lunch tomorrow? Just us girls. She replied instantly. Of course. I've missed you too. The nerve. When we met, she acted like nothing had changed. She smiled, complimented my dress, even hugged me. I forced myself not to flinch. Over coffee, I said casually, Daniel's been working so much lately. I'm planning a surprise weekend trip. Maybe it'll bring the spark back. She smiled, a little too tightly. That's a great idea. You two deserve it. But I caught it, that flicker of panic in her eyes. That night, I replayed the conversation over and over. I had her scared now, and fear was the first crack in her armor. The next morning, Daniel told me, Honey, I'll be out for a few hours. Client meeting. I smiled. Of course. Just don't be late for dinner. I've made something special. As soon as he left, I followed. Quietly. He didn't go to a meeting. He went straight to her house. I parked at the corner and took out my phone, recording everything, him kissing her, laughing, whispering promises. It was all I needed. By the time he returned home that night, I had already backed up the footage in 3 places. He kissed my cheek and said softly, You're amazing, you know that? I smiled back, hiding the storm in my eyes. Oh, I know, I whispered. You'll realize how amazing very soon. Because love can make you gentle. But betrayal can make you unstoppable. The following weeks were a performance, and I played my role flawlessly. I laughed when I wanted to scream, cooked dinner while my heart was at war, and kissed Daniel goodnight knowing he'd been in another woman's arms just hours before. But every smile I gave him was a calculated move. Every word, a piece of the puzzle. Daniel had no idea that the same woman he betrayed was about to destroy the little empire he built on lies. It began with small steps. I moved his savings into our joint account, claiming it was for future investments. Then I copied all his business files, his text messages, his photos. I even made a duplicate of his office keys. The truth wasn't enough for me anymore. I wanted his reputation, his pride, his peace, everything he valued. Then, like fate mocking me, our 6th anniversary approached. The same date that had once meant love now became my deadline. I made all the arrangements. A candlelit dinner, his favorite restaurant, and the very same private hall where we celebrated our 1st anniversary. He thought it was my way of rekindling love. But it was really the stage for his downfall. The day before the dinner, I sent Clara an anonymous email with a video attachment, the footage of her and Daniel together. The subject line read, Enjoy your last night of pretending. I imagined her face when she saw it, the panic, the shame. Then I sent Daniel a message from a fake number. Meet me tomorrow at 7 p.m. at Rosewood Hall. It's about your wife. He'd assume it was a business lead or maybe even Clara. Either way, he'd show up. When the night came, everything unfolded perfectly. I wore a red dress, his favorite, and looked calm, radiant even. Daniel complimented me, kissed my hand and whispered, You look stunning. I'm lucky to have you. Lucky, I thought. You have no idea how lucky you were. At exactly 7:15, I excused myself to freshen up. But instead I slipped into the control room I'd rented secretly earlier that day. The manager, bribed and unaware of my real plan, had set up the projector as I asked. When I returned to the dining hall, Daniel looked confused. The lights dimmed. A soft piano melody started playing. Then the big screen behind us flickered to life. At first it showed our wedding photos, smiling faces, vows, laughter. Daniel smiled fondly, reaching for my hand. But then, the video changed. It was him. In Clara's house. Laughing. Kissing. Undressing her. The restaurant went silent. Daniel froze, his face turning white. "Emily, what is this?" he stammered. I smiled gently. "Your anniversary gift, darling." He stood up, eyes wide. You're crazy. How could you?" I cut him off, my voice calm but sharp as glass. "I gave you love, loyalty, years of my life. And you gave me betrayal. So, I'm giving you something to remember. The truth in front of everyone." By then, several of his business partners had already arrived, just as I had arranged. They watched in disgust as the footage played, whispering among themselves. Daniel tried to turn off the screen, but it was too late. His reputation was bleeding right there on that table. I stood, straightened my dress, and said softly, "Happy anniversary, Daniel. Consider this closure." Then I walked away, not looking back even once. As I stepped outside, the cool night air hit my face, and for the first time in years I felt free. Behind me, I heard the chaos. Daniel shouting, glasses breaking, whispers of scandal spreading like wildfire. But I didn't care. My revenge was complete. He gave me a memory I'd never forget. So I returned the favor. I didn't go home that night. Instead, I checked into a quiet hotel on the other side of town. I took off my red dress, stared at myself in the mirror, and whispered, "It's over." But deep down I knew it wasn't. Not yet. The next morning my phone buzzed non-stop. Messages, missed calls, voicemails. Daniel's voice trembled through one of them. "Emily, please, we need to talk. You've ruined everything." I almost laughed. Ruined everything? Oh, Daniel. I just exposed what was already rotten. Later that day, the scandal hit social media. Someone had filmed his humiliation at the restaurant, and the video went viral overnight. His business partners pulled out of deals, investors froze accounts, and his so-called perfect image crumbled in public. By afternoon, the once proud Daniel Harris was trending, for all the wrong reasons. Meanwhile, I met with Julia, my lawyer friend. He handed me a folder. "It's done. The divorce papers are ready. With the evidence you have, he gets nothing." I signed the papers without hesitation. "Thank you, Julia." When I got home to pack my things, Daniel was there, sitting on the couch, eyes bloodshot, tie loosened, face pale. "You destroyed me," he said in a broken whisper. I dropped my keys on the table. "No, Daniel. You destroyed us. I just showed the world who you really are." He ran a hand through his hair, shaking his head. "Clara's gone. She won't even answer my calls. My clients dropped me. Do you feel proud of this?" I looked him dead in the eyes. "I don't feel proud. I feel free. There's a difference." For a moment there was silence. The kind of silence that feels like the end of a movie, right before the credits roll. Then he said softly, "I did love you once, Emily." I smiled sadly. "Then you should have fought for me instead of lying to me." I turned to leave, but before walking out the door, I placed a small wrapped box on the table. "Here's your real anniversary gift," I said quietly. He frowned, confused. "What's this?" "Open it after I'm gone." And I left, this time for good. Hours later, as I sat in my car outside my new apartment, I imagined him unwrapping the box. Inside, he'd find the broken watch I once engraved for him. "Forever yours, Emily." Now shattered, the glass cracked down the middle. Beneath it, a small note. "Forever is over." It was poetic justice. Weeks passed. The divorce went through smoothly. I sold the house, moved into a small but cozy apartment, and started working with Julia's law firm as a consultant. Ironically, the skills I'd learned gathering evidence made me good at helping women spot deceit before it consumed them. One afternoon, I received an email. From Clara. "I don't expect forgiveness, Emily. I lost everything too. I'm sorry." I read it once, twice, then deleted it. Some apologies come too late to matter. As for Daniel, rumors said he left town, bankrupt, divorced, and alone. Maybe he thought disappearing would erase the shame. But for me it was closure. One evening I stood by my window watching the sunset paint the sky in soft gold, just like that morning a year ago. Except this time I wasn't the same woman. That naive girl who believed in forever was gone. What remained was a woman who had walked through fire, and built herself from the ashes. I smiled, whispering to the fading light. "Happy anniversary, Daniel. I hope you never forget the gift I gave you." And with that I turned off my phone, closed the blinds, and finally, truly, moved on.